What's happening, YouTube? We back. Good to see you again. It's been a whole few days. We're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna do a viewer asked me about doing a chuck roast on the grill, slow smoking, which I thought was interesting. I considered that before and thought about it. Never did. It was interesting. Wondering what would happen with a chuck roast, slow roasted over the grill, right? Because I love chuck roast, but I consider a chuck roast as a wet roast, what I call a wet roast. Meaning it's one that you typically, whether you try to cook it fast or cook it slow, you should be cooked slow, but you cook it in a liquid. A braising style cook. That's just what it is. It's not a dry roast like a prime rib, like a rib roast or something like that. So I thought it'd be interesting to see what would happen with it on this grill. I had thought about that several times, never really got around to it. I mean, interestingly enough, I had a viewer the other day ask about it. And so I said, hey, why not? He says he does them on his grill. They turn out nice. I'm going to try it. I got it in there now. Throwing it out. I have no idea what I'm going to put on it, how I'm going to hook it up. I don't know yet. We're going to figure it out in the next few minutes. The next time I have the camera back on, I'm going to have something to tell you one way or the other. Peace. Alright, so what I think I'm going to try to do with this thing is, I'm going to, and I've got it over here on the cutting board, I'm going to seal the roast first, I think. Just like you were going to do if you would, cook it traditionally. So I got a pan heating up here, put a little bit of vegetable oil in there. And then I'll seal the roast on all sides, front, back, and around the edges. By seal the roast, I mean, put it in the pan, let it sizzle until it gets dark and the outside is still so we get the juice in. I think I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to marinate it. Well, I'm not going to. Then I'm going to season it, I think, and let it sit for some hours, and then we'll get it on the stove or whatever. But I'll show you how I season it. I think I'm stumbling through this as I go, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to seal it first. I think that'll actually work good for the smoker. Let's get that done, then we'll see what we do about the seasonings. So I'm sprinkling a little salt, a little pepper on this roast. And this is just anytime when I do these roasts, in terms of sealing them, always use salt and pepper. I don't know that you have to, I just know it's what I do. And this ain't the biggest roast, but most chuck roasts aren't. You can just sizzle on in. So what I like to try to do with these, obviously seal both sides, both large sides, this side, the other side is down now. I also like to try to seal around the edges too. Which can be irritating sometimes, but it just requires you to obviously stand the roast up on the side. Irritating just because it's time consuming. And sometimes depending on the pot that you're working with, you might actually have to stand there and hold it like this one. That's probably what I end up doing. There are pots that I've used where you don't have to do that, where maybe it's the way it fits into the pot. Just stand up by itself. We gotta get this kitchen cleaned up, or this stove rather. I was up late last night, very late. Ended up talking to some neighbors. Had the grill going. Ended up talking to the neighbors and leaving my grill going. I didn't have the food on it yet. I just was heating up the coals. Talked around, sat over at their house for way longer than I intended to. Came home, it was almost midnight. My coals were dying. I had to start over and. Long story short, 2 o'clock in the morning, I found myself in here making side orders to go with my freshly grilled chicken wings. Alright? You see that's perfect on that side. That's what you want to see. Alright, so what I think I've decided, YouTube, I think I'm going to go with this stuff, which I've had for a while and haven't used. Spicy tomato and ginger cooking sauce. I got this from the international market, and I've never tried it. but I want to do something different. And this certainly seems different. Ooh. Wow, it smells really good. You want to smell it? It smells a little powerful too, though. A lot of pepper in there. So what we're going to do is liberally coat the chuck roast. And we'll get up in the little cracks with these cracks. Anywhere I can get some, I'm going to get it in there. Alright. Yeah, actually, I got a feeling this is going to be right. And then we're going to do these deer shanks in a second. But no, I think this is going to be right. I really do. This shit smells good. It smells like you just stick your finger in this jar and start going to town. Let's get it down in there, which is what I want to do. I want it to permeate the meat, obviously, but then I want it inside these cracks and crevices too. Okay? Oh, that smells incredible. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know what this stuff is gonna taste like, but we're gonna find out at the same time, obviously. That smells incredible. That smells incredible. Good morning, good people. I'm really excited today. It's football Sunday, the best day of the week in the best country in the world. Today's kicking off football season. Sunday, Dallas Cowboys, 4:15 Eastern Time against the New York Football Giants. We gonna kick their ass. If you're a Giants fan, I'm sorry, this just gotta happen. Just you're there, so you gotta get your ass kicked. I'm ready to go out here. So we had a good time last night. My niece didn't show up. I did have my boy came over. Actually, he had some things with his mom with the talk, so he brought some beer and we sat out by the grill for probably 3 hours, 4 hours. Just watched the smoke coming out, just chilling and just doing what you do. Drinking some beer, smoke a couple cigars, talking some shit. Those wings were smoking. And I think it's probably 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. They were ready, and we pulled them off there and ate them. I think I got some footage of that. I'll give you. But they were delicious. It was crazy. But I'm excited about this chuck roast. I'm about to get it on the chuck roast, and at this point it's 11, so it's probably about 17 hours they've been in the seasonings. Not necessarily marinated, but they've been seasoned and sitting in that seasoning for about 17 hours there. So it's about 11 o'clock. I gotta make a quick run, come back. I'm gonna get this grill stoked back up. I left some fire on there, some logs when I came in last night. I threw a couple of big logs on there. Hopefully, if it worked out like I wanted it to, they would have started to burn and then die down and leave me with some kind of charcoal in there that would be, some chunks that'll make it good to get it going quick today. But I'll get it up to speed, and then I'll be with you when I put that roast on there. You see what we're doing, and we're gonna make it work from there, baby. Football Sunday. Hey. Pre-game show probably on, so that's why I should be in the house. We're gonna throw another log on here, and that's what I'm gonna do. See you in a minute. We're running a little bit high. We were in the 270s a couple minutes ago, so I'm trying to dial it back. We're at about 240 right now. Ideally, that'll be all right. 225 to 240. I'm sorry, 225 to 250. This isn't like my brisket. I tend to be a little bit more conscious about the temperature. I try to stay closer to 225. I usually try to stay within about 10 degrees of it, but right here I'll go to 250. Uh-oh. So it's just windy out here. And chuck roast. Chuck roast over here. Let's see what we can do. We're gonna go top shelf. And I think I'm going to go with the chuck roast on the Alright. extra sauce on there. Let's get it all on there. All right. It's gonna be some hours, but we'll be back. I guess it's around 12:30, something like that. Almost game time. Almost game time. It's lovely, baby. Life is beautiful. We'll be back. Alright, YouTube. So we've been on for about 2 hours. I'm gonna tell you something that's really, really amazing. I use a thermocue, so I don't rely on the temperature gauges that come with the grill. They're not the most accurate gauges. And these will get you temperature at that's precise, and that's also exactly at the right ingredients. Right now, 220.9, coming back up, 221, slowly coming back up, 221.1. Well, the point is, for the last 2 hours, I have literally had this grill running. These grills are amazing. This Lang is amazing. I've literally had this thing going at 224 to 226, 2 degrees. I think this might be, it's always an amazing grill, but this might be my best run with it in terms of actually locking in temperatures that tight. The only reason I'm down at 221 now, 220, was because I just opened the door, put another piece of wood on there. I did get up earlier to 232 because I was playing with the dampers, and then once I saw it rising, I got it dialed back in. But literally 224 to 226 on a stick burner, baby, that's crazy. A bunch of wood in here. Maintaining that kind of temperature over 2 hour period is set. Alright, so the stuff smells good. I ain't messing with it. I'm not gonna open the door. I wanna look at it. I know you wanna look at it, but we're gonna leave it. Let it do what it do. We'll be back. Alright, YouTube, let's take a look at it. It's been on about 3.5 hours. I haven't peeked at it since I put it in here. Let's see what it looks like. I'm curious. Still at 225. I got down to 201. I went to the store, get some stuff for some greens, and some potatoes. And then while I was going out, the wood died down. And, oh shit. Well, that's interesting. So, what does it look like? Well, that's an interesting looking chuck roast. Yeah, it looks interesting. Poke it. It's right at that stage to touch. It's right at that stage of smoking, where it's almost tougher. It gets, if you smoke something slowly, you'll know the meat gets tougher before it gets cooler. I mean, before it gets more tender, rather. So it gets to a point where it toughens up, and then the collagen breaks down, fibers break down, and it feels like it's maybe at that point, right? Now, I just licked my finger out that poke, and it tastes really good. That little flavor on there. All right, so that's where we at, man. That's 3.5 hours. It's about 6.5, close to 7 hours. 6.5, close to 7 hours. This has been out here on the smoker. Let's go with the chuck roast first. She's hot. Whew, she's hot. Well, we might have to just, there we go. To the touch, it's still firm, but when you touch it, you see juice. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you see juice popping out of it. So it's firm. I might like it to be a little softer right now, but I'll take it like it is. It's heavily smoked. The smoke flavor is permeating, coming off of it. So now let's go ahead and take the next step. So with this smoked brisket, this smoked chuck roast, brisket is mine, right? I think all I've decided to do, I'm not adding any more seasonings to it. I think I'm going to throw these potatoes in there. I've heated the oven up to 350, which I'm going to need. Onions. And beef broth. Oh, that's all over the floor. That's terrible. To a braising level. So right up where it's, right flush with the top of the meat. What's up, YouTube? So how did it turn out? Good, very good. And I apologize, I messed it. I completely messed the taste test video up. That was football Sunday, and by the time that roast was done, I'll be honest with you, I drank so much beer, I just wanted to get something to eat. And in the process, I just didn't do the best job on the taste test video. So we didn't do that. But it was very, very good. So I appreciate I'm trying to see if I can find the viewer. I don't remember which video it was that suggested I do it. But just so I can send him a shout out. Because it was really, really good. I was surprised. I didn't think a chuck roast would necessarily work that way on a smoker. Like I said, it's a wet roast. What would I do differently? I gotta say the only thing I would do differently, I would roast it longer in the braise, or braise it longer, I should say. So I would do that. So I would probably do the 6.5 hours on the smoker. I did 2 hours at 350 in the oven. So the last thing you saw in the video was when I put the potatoes and the onions in there. Then I covered it with foil. Gave it 2 hours at 350 in the oven. I would do another 6.5 hours in the oven, and I wouldn't do it at 350. I would do it at maybe 250, maybe 260, something like that. Maybe even 275. But that's the only thing I would do different. And otherwise, it was incredible. Flavor was good. The idea was good. The potatoes were outrageous. And I didn't season those apart from just having them in that braising liquid with the roast. So I hope you enjoyed it. Like, favorite, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think and any other ideas. I'm happy to do it. Peace. Appreciate you.